What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. This is serious. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this YouTube shit. Hey man, say man, we are lit 13 man, turn. Today, it's motherfucking day, straight hooding outside, big crib. Yes, sir. We out here in the north side. Tyler, man, Texas, man. Hey, man, say, man. A lot of shit be going down, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all been enjoying these videos, man. We gonna keep on putting in that work like Crip, and we know what I'm saying, we ain't gonna stop, man. You know, sometimes we just gotta pace ourselves, man. You know, some marathon, not a sprint. You did like gang, like, so, you know what I'm saying. But hey, free Palestine and Congo, man. You know what I'm saying. This world is sometimes, a lot of times, it's fucked up, and you know, you gotta keep on fighting, gang. Like, we can't never give up. You know, we already won type shit. So whatever in life happens, man, it happens. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta keep fighting each day, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, say man, the Hebrew Israelites, man, gang, we can't give up. You know what I'm saying? They want us down so bad. They want to fuck us over so bad. You know what I'm saying, gang? But we can't give these people the chance or the opportunity, gang. You know what I'm saying? We always protected out here. You know what I'm saying? Creole. North side shit. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, say man, hey, stay prayed up. Come to the Black Hebrew Israelite, man. You know what I'm saying? We out here in the north side. Big crib type ish, man. Let's get into this bitch. Boom. Alright, today, it's a motherfucking day. Straight here in the outside crib, man. Alright, man. Gang. Now this shit is wild, man. Now, you know, I remember when this shit first happened, man. The Breonna Taylor incident. Now, you know, a lot of people was outraged by this shit, man. And you know, this is why I say police brutality at its finest. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we in this bitch in America type shit, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, we try to get through this bullshit they try to give us, you know what I'm saying? Or we try to make out shit, you know what I'm saying? And we do what we do. And each day, Crip, they try each and new tactics to try to make people fall or take people out or down. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the way this shit is set up, man, not a lot of times, man, nothing never happens. You know what I'm saying? Breonna Taylor, man, you know, she was a young female, man, and she was dating this dude. And, you know, it was just a random night, you know what I'm saying? And 12 came just like want to raid their crib. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the thing about 12, man, they would do that without any type of warning or anything. Like, they can come through your whole fucking crib and not announce nothing and try to beat on your door and you don't even know who the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you feel me? And that's exactly what happened. They came through, they were beating on their motherfucking door, they busted the door. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot know what happened with Breonna Taylor and how they took her out. You know what I'm saying? But this shit is get deep, you know. You know, I've been in certain situations where, you know what I'm saying, popos, they will fuck with you, and then out of nowhere they'll fuck with you again, and they'll try to take you out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, the feds, they know what they doing, you know what I'm saying? You think they don't even know you, you know what I'm saying? You think the feds don't know you, you don't know who the fuck these motherfuckers is. These motherfuckers know you probably been watching the whole time, you know what I'm saying? It's like Crip. And so, Breonna Taylor, man, they were trying to say it was a drug raid that was over weed. You know what I'm saying? And it got violent hella quick. And the situation is deep because it's like, bruh, they did all this shit over weed, and the outcome is ridiculous type shit, gang. Like Crip. So I was like, I got the video, man. I hope y'all enjoy these videos, man. Make sure y'all keep on sharing these videos out, man, because people gotta understand, man, these motherfuckers, man, they get too much power and freedom and that. You know what I'm saying? And we out here trying to get some shit done, and they just can do whatever the fuck they want to at any time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, bruh, what the fuck? So I got the videos, man. Hope y'all enjoy them and share the word, man.
Break into his house, they kill his girlfriend, they frame him for it to cover it up, and then when that cover-up falls apart because it is so pathetic and so inconsistent with the evidence, the case is dismissed and the charges go away.
Getting ready to stop. Oh, no. Oh, stop. That was a stop. Full stop. Come on out this way. Come out this way. Mark. Come out this way.
Operator Harris, where is your emergency?
I don't know what's happening. Somebody kicked in the door inside my girlfriend. Oh my God.
Can you see where she's been shot at?
I can't know the stomach.
Okay. Is she alert and able to talk to you?
No, I'm breathing.
Okay.
I'm breathing. Oh my God.
A Taylor case, and tonight we're seeing new body camera footage of the chilling moments after Taylor was shot dead by police officers in her home last March. This was after her boyfriend Kenneth Walker fired a shot which police say injured one of those officers. The officers have said that they announced themselves before breaking into the home, but Walker disputes that, saying that he thought they were intruders. Take a look at what happened next. Here's ABC's Alex Perez.
Walk straight back, or I'll send this dog on you. Walk back to my voice. Walk back, or I'll send this dog. Get back. Walk back to me. Keep on walking. Walk down. Walk. Leave your hands in the air. Get down on your knees.
Dramatic body cam footage released by the Louisville Metro Police Department shows Kenneth Walker, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, moments after her death.
What did I do? Who else in the apartment? Nobody. My girlfriend's dead. Tell him we have 11015. What? I don't know. Inside? Yeah, somebody was. I was banging at the door and she said, "Who is it?" And they just started shooting. Somebody was. I was banging at the door and she said, "Who is it?" And they just started shooting. You want to fucking prison? That's what's going on. For the rest of your fucking life. My girlfriend is shooting at us. That was her house. Who was shooting at us? We have to go in if there's somebody. What is this about? We don't. SWAT can come. We're both just regular workers. Hey, boss. Where is she at in the apartment? She's on the ground. Where at? In the hallway. What kind of gun did she shoot? It's a regular 9mm. Did she shoot or you shoot it? It was her. You're scared. I'm spinning out. I just kicked. I'm gonna spin up behind you. Nobody, we're gonna let SWAT take this girl. We're not fell on the ground. Maybe hers. It was right here. Put him in a car. Yeah, let's go put him in a patrol line. Good. You got him. I got him. I'll walk him. What is this about? Walk. We gotta get him in the car. What is this about?
The first time we're given an in-depth look at what exactly happened the night of March 13th, minutes after the shooting of Breonna Taylor.
If you're not on SWAT, lift your fire. We're going up. Hey, just remember, the female is supposedly the one that shot. We're not for sure of that. One on me. Get him one. Get Ricky in there. Ricky in. He's out. Hey, she's down at the end of the hall. She is down at the end of the hall.
SWAT officers know Taylor is in there, but case the home first.
Hey, watch the kitchen. Watch the kitchen.
I got the kitchen. It's clear. All right. Nice and slow here, guys.
As they come to the bedroom, a TV is loudly playing.
Good. Cover from the other side. Hang on, let's check the bed. Go ahead.
A gun is on the floor.
This underneath the bed. There you go.
Taylor on the floor in the hallway.
Let me check her pulse. Ma'am, can you hear us? Old Metro Police Department. Check that wrist, dude. Check the wrist. Medic up. Medic up.
Breonna Taylor was pronounced dead at the scene. Two officers who fired a combined 22 shots after Walker fired just one were not charged with any crime.
The video obtained by Vice News seems to show a possible violation of police policy after the shooting. CBS News correspondent Adriana Diaz reports a former detective who faces criminal charges in this case seems to be in the video.
Over the weekend, never-before-seen body camera footage obtained and released by Vice News appears to show former detective Brett Hankinson, who was involved in the raid that killed Breonna Taylor, walking into the crime scene after the incident. According to Vice, that's him with a flashlight asking about shell casing.
That's theirs? No, it's ours, it looks like. So I'd back out until they get PIU in here.
CBS News has not been able to verify the video. If Hankinson was indeed at the scene after the shooting, that would be a violation of police policy, which states officers involved in shootings are to be isolated from all non-essential individuals for the remainder of the initial investigation.
That was just tremendously shocking.
Angelo Pinto is an activist with the group Until Freedom that works with Taylor's family. He says the video is troubling.
It looks like, and I think it's clear in some instances, that a lot of departmental policies were being violated.
But an attorney for the officer who was shot says these body camera videos don't show anything substantial. He says the officer still acted in legal self-defense. This state document raises additional questions. A portion of the Kentucky State Police ballistics report obtained by CBS News appears to not support State Attorney General Daniel Cameron's assertion that Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, definitively shot Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly the night Taylor was killed. In part, it reads the bullet that hit Mattingly was neither identified nor eliminated as having been fired from Walker's gun. Walker's attorney, Steve Romine, says he has seen the full report.
There's also evidence that Kenny's shot actually hit the carpet in the apartment.
Walker was charged with attempted murder of a police officer, but the case was dropped without prejudice. Walker's co-counsel Frederick Moore says this means the state could charge him again if they see fit.
They can't really prove what Kenny knew when he fired the shot, right? Which is the element essentially for attempted murder.
What of it?
But I'd back out until they get TIU in here.
So let him get out of here.
It's a crime scene.
I said let him get out of here.
We had to be mindful of what we say. We're on camera now, so.
Yeah, bye. Come on.
Trying to repair broken relationships. Brother, we need you.
This is Louisville Metro Corrections Officer Turon Knight at the police department set up at the Kentucky State Fair. He's making a phony recruiting video for LMPD, pretending that he works for them instead of for the jail. The video quickly goes south.
We need backup. Answer the call. Be a part of a great police department. Never mind what happened to Breonna Taylor. We killed that bitch.
Knight doesn't stop there.
You want to drive vehicles like this and flying planes? Do you want to be able to have unlimited off duty? Do you want to be able to support your family? Do you want to kill people and be able to get off for it? Join Louisville Metro Police Department.
There are 6 possible homicide charges under Kentucky law. These charges are not applicable to the facts before us because our investigation showed and the grand jury agreed that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in the return of deadly fire after having been fired upon by Kenneth Walker. Truth is now before us. The facts have been examined and a grand jury comprised of our peers and fellow citizens has made a decision.
Developments here tonight in the fallout over the Breonna Taylor case. The Metro Police major who oversaw the unit that conducted the raid on Taylor's apartment in March has been demoted by the new chief. The demotion drops Kimberly Burbrink down from major to lieutenant. Police Chief Erica Shields says the recommendation came from her executive command staff. A report from the Professional Integrity Unit investigating Taylor's death raised concerns about Burbrink when she reportedly pressured investigators for information about the case. Shields said she is confident that Burbrink can continue to serve the community as a lieutenant. Attorney General Daniel Cameron is launching a new task force that will examine the process for securing, reviewing.
We knocked on the door. We announced police multiple times.
This is one of the most crucial points, whether or not officers announce themselves. Walker says he never heard them, and more than a dozen neighbors told us the same thing. But in his press conference, the AG focused on one witness, who he says corroborated the officers' stories.
So you said you did remember them saying something as they were knocking on the door?
Yeah,
What were they saying when they were knocking on the door?
the cops.
This is the cops?
Yeah.
What the Attorney General didn't share is that witness had told something seemingly different to police investigators back in March.
Did you ever hear anyone identify themselves as police?
No, nobody identified themselves.
After a no-knock search warrant resulted in the death of the former EMT, officers will no longer be able to use the warrants unless it's signed off from the police chief before a judge's approval.
Unless it's signed off from the police chief before a judge's approval.
I want to remind everyone that she was shot and killed. There were no drugs found in the home, and no one has been criminally charged in this case. But there's an ongoing investigation, and what you're about to hear shows you just how little faith we should have in the investigation, because the investigator seems to be minimizing what the cops did here. So let's take a listen to the first piece of audio.
So in the pre-operational briefing, you guys just considered this location as, and I've heard this a couple times throughout this investigation, as a soft target. Right. Based on the information that the lead had concerning the entire investigation. Correct. The organization of the drug trafficking. So that's what made that's what kind of made you all come up with the original, hey, we're just going to knock, try and get her to the door, the most passive way into to serve the warrant.
So the person that you heard was the investigator interviewing Mattingly, right? So when you heard the statement about it being the most passive way of entering the home, that wasn't the cop who said that. That was the investigator interviewing the cop and investigating the cop, essentially helping him out and framing this as if the way they entered Breonna Taylor's home was passive. NBC News reported that in the interview with Louisville Police Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly, who led the late-night raid in March, the investigator questioning Mattingly describes a raid involving at least 7 officers and a battering ram as the most passive way in, and says Mattingly rightfully returned fire after Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, fired a shot. And keep in mind, Kenneth Walker, the boyfriend, had a licensed gun. You have these plainclothes cops using a battering ram to enter the home. He was terrified, didn't know who they were, and so he...
Lawful objective justifying the use of deadly force. Defendant Hankinson traveled away from Ms. Taylor's doorway to the side of the building and fired 10 shots into Breonna Taylor's apartment through a bedroom window and a sliding glass door that were both covered with blinds and curtains.
Is there anything, Brett, that you feel like you did wrong on March 13th at 3003 Springfield Drive?
Absolutely not. During that response, Breonna Taylor's mother leaving the courtroom. Hankinson's shots that night did not hit Taylor, according to the FBI. But this trial is thus far the only form of prosecution from the raid that killed her. She was unarmed. For years, attorneys for her family have said this is not enough.
They had wanton endangerment for the white neighbor's apartment, the bullets going there, but not for the bullets going into Breonna Taylor's body.
An attorney for Breonna Taylor's family is suing LMPD over body camera footage he says the city will not release. Louisville attorney Sam Aguiar says at least 18 videos exist from officers executing the search warrant at a home on Elliott Avenue, several miles away, on the same night of the raid, not Breonna Taylor's apartment. In a lawsuit, he accuses LMPD of violating the Open Records Act. In a previous statement about Aguiar's request, the spokesperson for the mayor's office said the videos are part of a criminal investigation that hasn't been resolved.
After the third hit, it flew open, and that's when it hit the fan.
The door comes off the hinges, so I just let off one shot. I still can't see who it is or anything.
And it goes boom, and as soon as the shot hit, I could feel the heat in my leg, and so I just returned fire. I got 4 rounds off, and it was simultaneous, just boom, 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 and then I went back and went down on the side of the door, and then reached around, and I think I got 2 more off.
So now the door's flying open. I have one shot, and then all of a sudden there's a whole lot of shots.
As soon as the door popped open, rounds were coming.
Okay.
it was like pop, and then pop. It was like boom, pop, 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 pop.
What I saw at the time was a figure in a shooting stance, and it looked as if he or she was holding an AR-15 or a long gun, a rifle.
I turn, and I see that John Mattingly is being pulled or scooched back or is somehow moving back from behind me. And I can hear nothing. It is completely muted. There is no sound. And I did not have any pain, sensation, or any recollection that I'm firing a gun. If you told me I didn't fire a gun, I'd be like, okay, I believe you.
But as they were pulling him, that's when Detective Hankinson moved up and was returning fire there.
Because I knew my threat was here, we were here. I returned my threat at the muzzle flashes that were illuminating this sliding glass door right in front of me.
Approximately how many shots do you think maybe were fired from inside the apartment?
It seemed like more than 5 gunshots I heard.
It sounded like 8 to 15 rounds.
I don't even want to estimate how many shots, but it was a volley of shots, and then it was a boom, 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 boom.
There was a little bitty moment of no shots. I was like, here's the time to go, and then it all started up again.
I feel like I shot from 2 different locations. I shot a volley of shots here, and then when I moved over to closer to here, to those red cars parked at, I can still see this window lighting up, flashes and gunfire. And that's when I decided to put additional rounds through here.
Yes, I'm not exactly sure when Michael, I think his name is Michael. At some point I came in contact with Michael.
And then there's Hankinson, who walks right into the crime scene.
What's this address?
Is anybody here dead?
Yeah.
Detective Brad Hankinson came up to me at the front door, and I explained to him that, man, we locked it down. This is a crime scene. Watch out, don't step on casings. So I think it's casings right there. Your all's casings and their casings. I didn't know that he was involved with the shooting at that point in time. From my experience with my officer involved, I was immediately assigned an escort officer.
It was around 1 a.m. when he found out Sergeant John Mattingly was shot, so he went to the hospital. That's where he started to hear details about the shooting from Major Josh Judah and Lieutenant Les Skaggs.
I saw her lying on the floor in a prone position, holding a rifle, and she was the one directing the fire, at them.
But as Conrad explained in his interview, things started to seem strange when he watched former Officer Brett Hankinson walk into the ER.
I was surprised by that. My experience is they are brought here to public integrity by, members of this unit.
Keep walking backwards, sir, to the steps.
Instead, he was at the hospital, visibly shaken.
That kind of nervous sort of energy that you have after something traumatic, happens.
Conrad says he didn't ask Hankinson any questions, but regardless, Hankinson told Conrad about a man inside the apartment with a rifle.
In a crouched position, which he said was like a combat position, and was holding a rifle, firing at them as the door opened.
This is the first time he is hearing this story.
That was 100%, contradictory of what I had heard from Judah and what I had heard from Skaggs.
But as Conrad acknowledged to investigators, Hankinson was involved in the shooting. Judah and Skaggs were not.
Brett was afraid. He was going to lose his job.
Conrad provided context to this comment from Officer Kim Burbrink, saying as a member of the police merit board, Hankinson frequently voted against the department.
Consistently worried that he'd get in trouble and somehow or another I'd retaliate.
Immediately, Sergeant Mattingly goes down. I knew Sergeant Mattingly was down, and I knew they were trying to get to him. And it appeared to me that they were being executed with this rifle.
Hankinson says he thought he could stop the threat, first firing into the patio door, then to the bedroom window of Taylor's apartment. No narcotics were found.
Say your name!
The case sparking national outrage.
To the world, it's just a hashtag, a picture, and all of that, but to me, it was much more. More than a girlfriend, too. I think that's what I want the world to know the most. That was my best friend. The most important person pretty much to me on the earth. And they took her.
Let's go back to that day. What kind of day was it for you two?
It was a normal day. It was a relaxed day. Really just chilling and just being us. You know, we went on a date, went out to eat, went back in the house, playing, watching a movie.
Take us to that moment when your life really changed forever.
It was a loud bang at the door. Nobody was responding when we were saying, "Who is it?"
You all did ask, "Who is it?"
Several times, both of us. And there was no response.
The police say that they said several times, "It's the police."
If they knock on the door and say who it was, we can hear them. It's dead silent. I know 1,000,000% sure that nobody identified themselves.
So the next thing you hear, the door flies off the hinges. Are you feeling afraid?
Definitely afraid. But I don't have much room to be afraid because I got somebody here that I got to take care of.
So you hear the heavy knocking, and what do you do?
So now at that point, we're getting up to put on clothes, make ourselves decent to answer the door. Then I grab my gun.
We should also say you were licensed to carry the gun.
For sure. That was the one time I had to use it. I mean, if it was the police at the door and they just said we're the police, me or Breonna didn't have a reason at all not to open the door and see what they wanted.
So the doors fly off the hinges.
I let off one shot, and I'm figuring if somebody's trying to break in or something, they're not gonna want to do anything after that.
And after that, what happens?
I don't think I ever heard so many gunshots like all at the same time. I've never been to war, but I assume that's what war probably sounds like.
Valerie, Chris, Jeffersontown police just arrested Jamarcus Glover yesterday for possession of marijuana and driving on a suspended license. They brought him here to the Louisville Metro Jail, and a judge released him this morning.
I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, sir. Mr. Glover, please be aware, however, that you're not to drive until you have a valid license, okay?
Glover was at the center of the drug investigation that led to Breonna Taylor's death in March 2020. In November last year, after taking a plea deal, a judge sentenced Glover to 5 years of probation to avoid jail time. The judge also put him on home incarceration for 120 days or until he moved back to Mississippi, where he's from. But court records show Glover was removed from house arrest 10 days after he was put on it. According to his recent arrest report, he was driving around Jeffersontown yesterday when police pulled him over for an expired temporary registration. Police say they smelled weed and found it in the car, and Glover was arrested for marijuana possession, expired tags, and driving on a suspended license. But Glover's attorney tells WDRB that he was allowed to be back in Kentucky. He was trying to get his driver's license renewed, and the attorney calls this latest incident not a very strong case. As for Glover's previous plea deal and probation, we have reached out to prosecutors about specifics on that, but have not.
2.5 months after police shot and killed Breonna Taylor during a no-knock warrant at her home, her family is still pleading for criminal charges against the officers who killed her. But we are learning how prosecutors in Louisville included Breonna's name in her ex-boyfriend's plea deal this summer. The attorney for Jamarcus Glover, her ex, says his client was offered a deal if he was willing to implicate her in a, quote, organized crime syndicate. NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalas joins me now. Danny, all right, this is a lot to break down, so walk us through this. The lawyer also said implicating Breonna was part of the initial plea deal, but her name wasn't part of later drafts. Can you explain how this all works and why they might want Breonna Taylor on the list after she had been killed by police?
If true, this is a tactic that prosecutors will sometimes use to avoid civil liability on the lawsuit side later. So, for example, if they think they have a situation where someone was wrongfully arrested, prosecuted, or even killed by police, they will do anything they can to get something on the record from a defendant or some witness like this to say that, oh, there is some evidence of criminality, because any evidence of criminality gets police one step closer to potential immunity from a civil lawsuit. And that is something that happens fairly often, having defendants plead to a lesser charge when the prosecution probably shouldn't have brought the case in the first place.
Asked him where he went after he was in. He said he went to the hospital. And they kind of asked him discreetly, and I think he said he spoke to his chief. Is that about the extent of it?
I believe after the shooting incident, Louisville advised to talk to the officer involved in this.
Right, but he didn't doesn't sound like he just he doesn't reference that.
Hankerson didn't report to PIU to take photos and hand in his gear as evidence until around 3:45 a.m. Detective Nobles and James went to the hospital earlier in the night with Mattingly. In the ambulance on the way over, James takes Mattingly's gun and shot-through wallet, which are now both evidence, and then stashes them in Nobles' car.
In a lot of the interviews, they would say, oh, here, let me just draw it for you. It'll be easier to understand. Did you all get any of those drawings?
I haven't seen.
ASP and FBI ballistics analysis reached different conclusions, creating a reasonable doubt in the evidence about who fired the fatal shot.
One person who was charged, it wasn't for the death of Breonna Taylor. It was for firing the shots into the apartment next door.
So how do you get away with that? There's kids in those other apartments too. I didn't shoot them through any walls with kids in there. But I went to jail immediately.
Kenneth Walker was charged with attempted murder of a police officer.
They break into his house, they kill his girlfriend, they frame him for it to cover it up, and then when that cover-up falls apart because it is so pathetic and so inconsistent with the evidence, the case is dismissed and the charges go away. He's supposed to say thank you? No. There has to be a consequence, and if Daniel Cameron won't hold him responsible, we will in a civil case.
My bottom line feeling about this trial is that it represents a miscarriage of justice, regardless of the outcome. If Hankinson is not convicted, then you have an officer who fired his weapon dangerously in public, who's not being held accountable. Even if he is convicted, Breonna Taylor was killed, and yet she receives absolutely no justice.
Hankinson was back in federal court this morning after his charge in connection with the Taylor raid. But at issue today is whether his trip to Vegas and refusing to give that DNA sample could have broken a judge's orders. Hankinson was federally charged last month for his involvement in the raid on Taylor's apartment. Investigators say he fired blindly into Taylor's apartment through curtains and blinds, putting others in danger. He has not been in custody since his arrest, but a federal judge is now weighing whether he broke the terms of that agreement. In court today, prosecutors said Hankinson refused to provide a DNA sample and that he recently traveled to Las Vegas. They say both moves could also violate the conditions of Hankinson's release. A judge ordered him to provide the DNA sample and said she would discuss Hankinson's travel with the probation office. He was indicted on August 4th, but still does not have an attorney. He told a judge that he had hired 3 attorneys over the weekend. The judge said they needed to be on the record by Friday to avoid any further delays.
I have to reach out to John. John's sometimes, and he's a busy man too, and I respect that.
In the PIU file, Detective Joshua James, who obtained the search warrant, explained to investigators how he verified their main target, Jamarcus Glover, was receiving packages from Breonna Taylor's apartment.
I asked him, I was like, hey, did you hear anything back about our target, Jamarcus Glover? He's like, yeah, basically that they're doing an investigation on this guy for possible reversals, or he's getting suspicious packages. Like, that's phenomenal. He's like, I'll get back with you when I hear back stuff. I was like, that's awesome.
Mattingly implies that conversation never happened.
Hopefully it was a mistake on his part. I can't answer for Detective James or what his thought process was. That's something that he's going to have to deal with.
His attorney, Kent Wicker, told WHES 11 it's because Mattingly was never involved in securing the warrants for Taylor's home.
Sergeant Mattingly did not draft the search warrant affidavit, did not sign it, and did not even see it before serving it on the night of March 13th.
The sergeant told investigators the same thing weeks after Taylor's death.
We didn't do any of the investigation. We did not have the background. It was a heavy manpower-intensive operation, and they just needed bodies.
Shively Police Sergeant Timothy Salyer told LMPD's PIU Mattingly reached out to him and his colleague back in January about deliveries to Taylor's apartment.
We told you no, right? And he goes, yes.
But almost 2 months after Taylor was killed, Salyer reached out to Mattingly to double check whether he informed the Janes about that.
He said, I told him, because he was on speakerphone, I told him what you told us. There was no boxes coming to that apartment. We're like, okay.
Several women coming forward with accusations of sexual assault against LMPD officer Brett Hankinson, one of the officers involved in the Breonna Taylor shooting. Tonight, the mayor is asking for outside agencies to investigate the allegations, and he wants the officer off of the LMPD merit board. Shay McAllister's digging into the allegations tonight.
2
Two women, similar stories, both start at the end of their night. After they say they left a bar, and Officer Brett Hankinson offered them a ride home. We found the allegations posted on Facebook. One woman writes, "He drove me home in uniform in his marked car, invited himself into my apartment, and sexually assaulted me while I was unconscious." A second woman says, "He began making sexual advances towards me, rubbing my thigh, kissing my forehead, and calling me baby." Mayor Greg Fisher speaking out on the allegations Thursday, asking for a bigger investigation involving the Kentucky Public Corruption Task Force. He also demanded the River City FOP remove Hankinson from his position on the Louisville Police Merit Board, which reviews disciplinary appeals. Fisher said, "Given the very serious allegations against him and the investigations by the Attorney General and the FBI, it is profoundly inappropriate for him to be in this role." We called FOP President Ryan Nichols about the request.
I do not have that authority, and no, I don't intend to try to obtain that authority to do that.
He says he can't remove the officer from the board, but even if he could, he wouldn't.
But everyone is entitled to that right to be investigated. Anyone can make a claim about anything. It should be investigated, and if those allegations are proved to be true, then they would be addressed accordingly.
The mayor says he will work with Metro Council and the county attorney to remove Hankinson from the board if the FOP fails to do so.
We're following breaking news out of Kentucky. A jury has acquitted the former Louisville police officer connected to the botched police raid that killed Breonna Taylor.
The jury found Brett Hankinson not guilty of wanton endangerment. Prosecutors say he fired several shots into the apartment of Taylor's neighbors during that botched police raid. A man, a pregnant woman, and her 5-year-old son lived next door. Hankinson testified he fired to protect himself and his fellow officers.
Or judge declaring a mistrial in the latest attempt to try to hold Louisville officers accountable for the death of Breonna Taylor. We're talking about Brett Hankinson. He's a former officer who fired shots into Taylor's home during a botched raid back in 2020. He was facing federal civil rights charges of excessive force, but the judge has now declared this mistrial after the jury deadlocked apparently on these charges. NBC's Shaquille Brewster is following this one for us here. So Shaq, explain what happened here and what this means for the case going forward for the folks who wanted to see Hankinson held responsible for what he did that night.
Well, Holly, to answer that second part of the question, this means that we could see an entirely new trial to come. The judge setting a hearing for about a month from now to determine the exact next steps in this trial. But let's step back. This is the federal case against one of the officers involved in that March 2020 raid, as you mentioned, against Breonna Taylor. You know kind of the fact pattern there where her boyfriend said they feared a break-in. They heard a noise at the door in the overnight hours in March of 2020. When police busted in, her boyfriend fired one shot, hitting an officer. Now, Hankinson, while he didn't shoot Breonna Taylor, prosecutors allege that he essentially acted recklessly, that he used excessive force because he then went to a window and a sliding glass door that were covered, they say, by blinds and a curtain, and then fired 10 shots into not only Breonna Taylor's apartment, but also the apartment of her neighbors that included a young family. Hankinson was on trial for this similar action in state charges just earlier this year. Earlier last year, he was acquitted in that case, and now a jury deadlocked on whether or not he violated both the civil rights of Breonna Taylor and her boyfriend, but also the family in that neighboring apartment alley.
None of the officers involved in the raid were charged in her death.
It is violent to ignore the pain of a community that has been left out.
Sadiqa Reynolds, a lawyer and president of the local civil rights organization, the Urban League, says she met with Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron a month ago. His announcement that one officer would be charged with a crime not directly linked to Taylor's killing was not what she expected.
Why wasn't Brett Hankinson charged with wanton endangerment, at least because he also sprayed bullets into Breonna Taylor's home?
You want me to answer a question that doesn't make sense. Your question is a good question, but there is no logical response. I do not understand this.
She says other problems included how the top prosecutor's team gathered evidence.
The Attorney General said the grand jury was told that one person said they heard the police identify themselves. Okay, well, were they also told that 11 people said that they didn't hear it?
We spoke to neighbor Deja Moore, who says she was questioned by investigators and lives right across from Taylor's now vacant apartment.
And to see her body laying in the hallway and they're not doing nothing. They didn't check for a pulse. They didn't resuscitate or even see if she was still breathing. They was stepping over the body like she wasn't even there.
The ex-Louisville police officer whose bullet killed Breonna Taylor has a new badge.
I feel devastated, honestly.
A harsh reality for the family who lost their daughter just over 3 years ago.
It's like instead of them getting a consequence, their reward is a new job. Their consequence is a new job. Or being able to move on to a new county, still hold a gun, still interact with the community without any consequence. And that in itself is a liability to our community, in my opinion.
A letter sent by Miles Cosgrove to the entire Louisville Metro Police Department late last night saying, "For those of you still doing real police work, it's just a matter of time till you too will be a sacrificial lamb. I plead with you, do nothing." The LMPD detective fired over his role in the shooting of Breonna Taylor told officers that LMPD's leaders aren't afraid to perform hatchet jobs on you either. In his termination letter, Acting Chief Yvette Gentry said Cosgrove failed to properly identify a target when he fired 16 rounds into Taylor's apartment. He blames his termination on political pressures, as does Detective Joshua Janes.
My conclusion is that Detective Janes has been made a scapegoat for what happened in this operation because his conduct in this whole scenario was blameless.
Thomas Clay is Janes's attorney and says they will be appealing the termination. Janes sent an email this morning addressing his brothers and sisters, saying his 15-year, nearly unblemished career is being judged on one line of an affidavit. James is the one who secured the search warrant for Taylor's apartment. Gentry's termination letter says he was untruthful in the affidavit because he did not verify with a U.S. postal inspector about packages linked to Jamarcus Glover, Taylor's ex-boyfriend.
Detective Janes told the truth as he understood it at the time he prepared that search warrant affidavit.
Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly brings up the night Breonna Taylor was killed, telling his fellow officers, regardless of the outcome today or Wednesday, I know we did the legal, moral, and ethical thing that night.
We've heard all along people saying, I can't comment. So I think it's very interesting, and it makes me feel like someone has confirmed for him that he's in the all clear.
Sadiqa Reynolds with the Louisville Urban League says she's not surprised by the remarks made by the officer involved in Breonna Taylor's case, but is disappointed.
It does not do service to the community to thumb your nose at the pain of the people that you are supposed to protect and serve.
Mattingly's attorney, Kent Wicker, confirms the sergeant sent the 5-paragraph email, quote, expressing his support for his colleagues and their work in these difficult times. Mattingly tells officers that they don't deserve to be in a position where they're cursed at or have bricks and urine thrown at them by what he calls thugs, then expresses frustration with the mayor as well as LMPD leadership and the FBI, saying they go after you for civil rights violations. Your civil rights mean nothing, but the criminal has total autonomy.
Even if you felt like you were in the right, to put that out there in this moment, for me, it shows that there's a chance that he's not going to be indicted.
Pastor Timothy Finley Jr. with the Justice and Freedom Coalition says he thought the email was a hoax at first.
And to find out that it was real, the level of callousness and insensitivity in this moment was absolutely astonishing to me.
13th, 186 days ago, a tragedy beset our community with the death of 26-year-old Breonna Taylor. Her death has ignited a movement in Louisville and the nation for racial justice, sending thousands into our streets and cities all across the country and the world, all crying out for justice for Breonna. And while her death was a tragedy for so many, let's remember that Breonna was first a daughter, a sister, a granddaughter, a niece, a girlfriend, a friend, and a co-worker. And for those who knew her, Breonna's death is personal, the pain is visceral, and the loss ever more devastating. Tamika Palmer, Breonna's mom, says Breonna was a quick student, a hard worker, and an old soul, that she was the glue of the family. Breonna was loved. I cannot begin to imagine Ms. Palmer's pain, and I'm deeply, deeply sorry for Breonna's death. While we await a decision from Attorney General Daniel Cameron on whether or not charges will be filed in this case, my administration is not waiting to move ahead with needed reforms to prevent a tragedy like this from ever happening again. That's why I'm here today with the family of Breonna Taylor to announce that Louisville Metro government has settled the civil lawsuit with her estate. As part of this settlement, Louisville Metro government agrees to make several important policy changes. First, to build stronger community connections between our police officers and the people they serve, we will, one, establish a housing credit program to incentivize officers to live in certain low-income census tracts within the city. And we will encourage officers to volunteer 2 paid hours every 2-week pay period during their regular work shift at an organization in the community that they serve. Next, as I've said before, we often ask our police officers to not only keep the peace, but to deal with challenges that society has failed to address, from mental health to homelessness to substance abuse and everything in between.
And it is not just the historic $12 million settlement, which, as I understand, is the largest amount ever paid out for a black woman in a wrongful death killed by a police in America.
The city of Louisville has reached a settlement with her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, who was also in the apartment the night of the fatal police raid. A source not involved in the case but familiar with the settlement details tells WHAS 11 News that the lawsuit was settled for $2 million. It was negotiated Monday and resolved as part of a scheduled mediation.
Alright, back. Alright, gang. So, if you see from that motherfucking video about the Breonna Taylor incident, the shit was crazy. Like, I know everybody know the dead giveaway of what the shit was. They didn't even find nothing in the crib. So it's like, you know, these fucking 12 popos, it was like about 5 or 6 of them. They came in that bitch like Rambo, busting the damn door down. You know what I'm saying? They finna just raid that bitch. Now the shit that's what's crazy is the Popo, they did that like I said, they did that a week ago or a month ago, and did the same goddamn thing. I think it was a year ago, or they did that like a year ago or some shit. And they did the same damn thing, and he got one of the officers got away with the shit that time too. So it's like, bruh, they basically paid these niggas out, the family, to stay hush about the incident that went happen, man. None of the police officers got charged with anything. They just got freed. And it's like, bruh, you know, it's like, man, that the Popo, he got shot in his shin. They already locked that nigga up. They locked that nigga up. 9 niggas from the 12 got locked up over nothing. Over absolutely nothing. And this is what I be saying, man. It's like, even if they do get fired, they get fired from that job. Nigga, they can get a whole new job somewhere else. Like, so it's like, bruh, you know, this gonna be the same type of police officer who just got away with killing this female. You know what I'm saying? They busted through her door, and they ain't know who the fuck it was, because I'm telling you, it's incidents where popos, man, they just try to sneak up on your ass, and these popos didn't even have no motherfucking uniform on, so it was like on some other shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to bust the door open and shit. And I would be like, who the fuck is that too? And they ain't got no clothes on there. Who the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Busting through the motherfucking door and shit, and breaking that glass and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they just came up in that bitch and started pow, 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 firing at that bitch. The dude the Breonna Taylor husband, he shot once, and Breonna Taylor, he shot, and it's like, they came to that bitch, and the white police officer, he killed her. I guess he shot her in the stomach or some shit, but it's like, bruh, how you gonna try to bust into somebody else's crib, don't find nothing you was talking about, and expect that what you did was justified to be as right? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, you know, these motherfuckers want us to just follow every fucking thing they want us to follow, and these motherfuckers don't get shit, nothing or nothing. Like, bruh, like, this some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Like, Breonna Taylor, man, you know, she had a job and shit, man, and, you know, she was trying to, like, you know what I'm saying, keep her family wherever they was and shit, man, and the shit wild, man, you know, and like I said, man, I've been in situations where I'll just be, like, walking or some shit, and it's like, man, these motherfuckers can do some shit at any time, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, these incidents right here, bro, you know, you could be doing everything right type shit. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers would still try to target you. You know what I'm saying? They would still try to target you. Now what? They would have had the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, they didn't even have it of what they was looking for. Like on some weed. It was over weed. It was weed. They don't even go this crazy. They didn't even go this crazy when these motherfuckers, we white people be killing all these people in the crowd. Like, bro, they don't even go that crazy. They don't go up in that bitch on some, busting up through the doors, the helicopters flying and shit, niggas going through, throwing smoke bombs, blasting that bitch up and going that bitch looking for the person. Hell no. Breonna Taylor was shot, left on the ground. They walked over that bitch like she was just like a mat and just kept on going and waited till she died and to say, oh, we didn't know that she did anything wrong and they shot her in. Like, bro, like, the first thing y'all should have done was like motherfucking look at the body and get the other people to go like check the motherfucking shit, man. But you know, these motherfuckers, man, they obviously put targets on people's backs, man. You know what I'm saying? Cause like you gonna do the same thing twice in a row, like, bruh, like we ain't going for that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like the states, they just paid their way out of this bitch, man. So they gave them like millions, you know what I'm saying, M&Ms and shit, man. But they're like, damn, bro, you know, these motherfuckers done lost their mom and everything, man. And the police, they got fired and got a whole new job. The other dude who was charged, nothing happened to him. Because the other dude, he was, I know that nigga was on cocaine. That nigga was on cocaine and meth or something. That motherfucker was wildin'. That nigga was up in that bitch. He nigga busted through somebody else's window to shoot through the wall of Breonna Taylor shit, and the other people was like, I guess they had like a young family and shit. So he went they thing busted through the Breonna Taylor through their wall to shoot at Breonna Taylor and them and their family and shit, man. That shit crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, in that situation, what the fuck you think some shit's supposed to happen? Niggas coming through, busting the damn door down, got flashbang grenades and shit. Like shit going crazy. All the people like not hear nothing about. They saying they was 12 or some shit, man. It's like, bruh. And then they getting people to switch up their statements and shit, man. Like that's some goofy ass shit, man. They were trying to blame the death on the husband. Like, bruh, like the state is some like they do some weird shit, man. You know what I'm saying? They obviously, man, they be mad and they want to just take their anger out and they thinking they got leads and shit, and these leads don't lead to nothing. You know what I'm saying? They don't think nothing gonna happen, which nothing do happen all the time. So nothing happen. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, bruh, that nigga killed Breonna Taylor. Nothing happened to him. The nigga who was shooting through the other wall, the other thing, he did some extra ass shit. Nothing happened. It was like the other Popo who was doing the shit. Nothing happened. Like I said, the other dude, he did that shit, but they were doing that shit before, so they busted through somebody else's shit before and did some crazy shit and nothing happened. So it's like, bro, it's like, you know, at this point, I guess they just doing this shit for hobbies. You know what I'm saying? They just like, okay, we're just gonna kill a random black person today. This one or that one? This one or that one? Is it gonna be that female or this nigga? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, and they wonder why niggas be mad and why niggas want to go crazy, and mad at what they be doing, but then they want to call us thugs and all this. And it's like, bro, you call us thugs and y'all don't want to just bust through somebody's fucking crib, raid that bitch, shot a person and killed her and all this extra ass shit and bust through somebody else's fucking crib? And like, what the fuck? Well, y'all didn't do nothing. Well, y'all up in that bitch just watching the whole time while somebody else like, bro, come on, stop the cap, bro. It's like niggas not falling for that BS type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you know, y'all got these fucking crazy ass, strict ass shit on people, man. And like niggas just be trying to live lives and shit, bro. Y'all just be fucking niggas lives up and shit, man. Expecting some money on gonna make them feel better and shit, man. That's wild ass shit, man. You know, when that Breonna Taylor shit happened, man, everybody and mama was like, what the fuck would happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hey, they killed that lady for nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you know, like, time kind of don't fly, because there's so many people they killed during that time too, and still today, bro. It's like, you know, they want people just to be okay with it and just go along with the flow ass niggas, but then we gonna bust out and go crazy on them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, then they want to call us crazy. Like, bro, stop the cap. Y'all can't keep on fucking with motherfuckers and thinking shit not gonna happen, bro. Y'all feeling like y'all can just fuck through everybody's houses, look through everybody's shit, and they niggas don't even have nothing half the time. And fuck niggas over and shit, think niggas gonna be happy and shit, bro. Like, fuck out of shit, nigga. Like, that's why I be like saying fuck 12 all damn time, man. Fuck 12 type shit. Cause they want niggas to be like, to get taken out, man. They want to take niggas out so bad, man. But it's like when you fight back, man, they like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and niggas came through busting, cause like, bro, why, like, who the fuck is you? Like, motherfuckers, like, y'all remember how y'all uniforms on type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck is y'all motherfuckers busting through somebody's fucking crib and shit? Breaking their glasses and shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, this shit is wild. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Well, they got shot in the leg, but other than that, nothing happened. Like, bro, come on, man. It's like, we can't keep on letting this shit happen, like, slide by and shit, man. Like, the thing is, man, they be paying these niggas all this goddamn money out to be quiet and shit, man. It's like, damn, you know, it's millions of dollars and shit. Like, fuck, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, man, you know, that shit some wild ass shit, man, you know, but, hey, man, send me prayers out, man, you know, there's always gonna be RP on Breonna Taylor and all other unfortunate victims of police brutality or shit like that doesn't happen like this, man. You know, so they want us to forget, but we always gonna remember, man, you know, all that shit is make me niggas stronger, man. You know what I'm saying? They try to give us all the baloney shit, but we looking through for the shit that's really like they fuck us over with. You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, I hope y'all enjoy these videos. Like I said, make sure y'all share these videos out, man. The person who make these videos, check the channel out. They put out some good videos, man. I'm telling y'all, man, y'all I'll try to look at these videos, man, to like see what like. See what the fuck really went down and shit is accurate as hell, man. So I hope y'all enjoy these videos, man. Like I said, man, stay prayed up, protected out here, man. Shit is wild, man. Keep on doing y'all thing, man. Hey, keep on staying active out here, man. Hope y'all enjoy y'all day, and yeah, we out here hood and outside. Clear game.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.